Hi there. Good afternoon. My name's Tom, and today we're going to be answering a question on the interwebs about hurricane prep. The question, to paraphrase, was, "Hey, I think this is kind of silly. My family member wants to know if they should stack silver to prepare for hurricanes, so they have something they can spend after the storm." Yeah, that question is kind of silly, and the answer is very emphatically no. If you have money to spend on silver, you have money to spend on actual hurricane preps. I know a lot of people think buying silver is a prepper type thing to do, but they're usually envisioning doomsday scenarios or the collapse of the economy, all sorts of stuff. A hurricane is completely different from any of that. And I'll be putting a link below with a checklist published by the state of Florida, because they know a thing or two about hurricanes, of all the things that you should make sure you have. Now, I've done a series of videos on other things that I think you should have. Tools, emergency stuff, food, some of that, like first aid and food, that's definitely on the list. But let's, real quick, go over some of this. Now, I went and I looked up today online a retailer who an online retailer that sells silver, and at the time I looked, they were selling 5-ounce bars of silver for $156 and change. So let's look at other things you can get for $150. As our analog, I'm going to pull out an actual $150, which I'm pulling out of this waterproof, fire-resistant, zip-up documents bag. Now this is pretty cheap. So for $150 for one 5-ounce silver bar, you can get one of these bags. This weather band radio that you can recharge the battery using the hand crank. You can recharge using a USB cord. You could recharge using the little solar cell on the top. And that will give you plenty of advice and information on the storm. Along with that bag and that radio. Oh yeah, it also has a built-in flashlight. You can get yourself a nice hatchet. Believe me, it could be a lot more useful than you think in a storm. And, well, you know what? I'll just say you could get a bunch of other hand tools before you get up to that $150 or 5-ounce silver bar mark. Alright, what else can you get for one 5-ounce silver bar? You can get a DeWalt combo kit. A drill and impact driver. It's pretty useful in cleanup, in demo, in rebuilding. You could get yourself a Sawzall as well for $150. Now, let's see. Where'd my list go? I keep dropping everything. You could buy a dozen MREs, meals ready to eat, for $110. Depending on how old they are, they have like a 4-year shelf life minimum. And the most recently manufactured they are, the more expensive they'll be. You need 2 weeks worth of food. Basically plan on having 2 weeks worth of meals. Canned foods are cheaper, but you could get MREs if you really like being constipated. Emergency strobe lights of the sort you clip onto your jacket so search and rescue can see you at night. You could get 7 regular waterproof ones for $140. That's about one silver bar for 5-ounce silver bar. Or you could get 2 mil-spec ones like we had when I was in the Coast Guard. We called them Fireflies, but I can't remember what their proper name was. But they were like $75 each. But mil-spec stuff tends to be hard to break. Let's see. Let's get another 5-ounce silver bar out. There, now I have 2 5-ounce silver bars. And for that, I can get myself a 300-watt power station with a 100-watt solar panel. Very helpful if you have a CPAP and you need that to sleep at night. Also, charging up your electronics. For one of these, 1 silver bar, you can get yourself a whole bunch of rechargeable batteries. You should buy those now instead of waiting for a report of a hurricane, by the way. Oh, let's get another 5-ounce silver bar. So 1 silver bar, 2 silver bars, 3 5-ounce silver bars, 15 ounces of silver. You know what that can get you? A 4,800 watt, 30 amp inverter generator. So, you know, that solar cell, if it's cloudy, you have a gasoline source of electricity, and you could actually get the AC running, which will be great for you and your pets. And if you have kids, you might want to let them into the air conditioning too. Basically, all I'm saying is, if you have the money that you can take care of yourself with in an emergency by buying things, and you know that emergency's coming, buy it before the emergency hits. Don't wait until afterwards, because you know what? Those batteries, they're not going to be available. Those strobe lights are not going to be available. I'd say they're more expensive after the emergency hits, but that's not true, because they just don't exist. Buy the food you need. Non-perishable, canned. Preferably you don't need a stove to eat it. Buy that stuff. Buy power sources. Buy batteries. Don't waste your money buying silver to prepare for an emergency when you have the ability to just buy the stuff you need ahead of time. You don't need to spend the silver on it after the disaster happens. Thank you for listening to this rant. Have a good day.